If you're old like me, there were the days when we could just buy a game, shove it in the console or PC for that matter, and play as our heart's content. Well, we're long past that. Now you have to buy the game and pay more to, let's say, enjoy the full game, the entire content of the game, or to have the edge over other players in an online multiplayer game, thanks to microtransaction. You've probably heard of microtransactions before, even if you're not a hardcore gamer. Take a look at your phone's app store. Not now, please hear me rambling first. Almost all the games in there will have a little text box that says in-app purchases. But why is it called microtransaction? Well, the term derives from the fact that oftentimes a microtransaction purchase is small in price and function, typically no more than $10. But it's not the only option. Many games offer quote-unquote microtransactions that cost up to $100, or in some cases, even more. This is how all of this madness began. Initially, microtransactions in games took the form of exchanging real-life money for the virtual currency used in the game that the user was playing. The arcade game
Double Dragon 3: The Rosetta,
released in 1990, was infamous for its use of microtransactions to purchase items in the game. It had shops where players insert additional coins into arcade machines to purchase upgrades, power-ups, health, weapons, special moves, and player characters. The game was controversial upon its release due to this early system of microtransaction, where players acquire power-ups by inserting real money into the cabinet, which was removed from the latter Japanese release after negative feedback from the playtesters. And that's it, right? That's how it all began. Now you have someone to blame for this microtransaction system, right? Now subscribe. This is how microtransactions spread like a wildfire. In the late 90s, with the rise of popularity in the internet, people began downloading video game content online. Video game developers and hobbyists would sell or share the expansions to PC games as downloadable content, or DLC in short. In 2002, Microsoft released Xbox Live, an online platform for the Xbox, which allowed players to purchase DLC on it. On the other side of the globe, microtransaction revenue model gained popularity in South Korea, with the success of Nexon's online free-to-play games, starting with Quiz Quiz in 1999, followed in 2003 with games such as MapleStory, Mabinogi in the following year, and Dungeon Fighter Online on the same year. The next story you might be familiar. The first microtransaction sold by a major publisher was in 2006 when Bethesda sold Horse Armor in The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion for $2.50. It was made as an experiment to test the market's reaction to DLC. Most players reacted negatively. I mean, of course, what did I expect? Claiming that $2.50 for an in-game cosmetic item was too much. Despite the negativity, the Horse Armor became the 9th best-selling DLC in Oblivion and was still being purchased more than 2 years after its release. Bethesda and other game studios began using microtransactions more as an extra stream of revenue. In 2008, the iOS store launched on Apple iPhones, and games there used microtransactions as their main source of funding. In the first 3 years after its launch, iOS apps made over $3.6 billion in revenue, with over 15 billion downloads, and 80% of that revenue coming from mobile games. In an attempt to capture the success of microtransactions in mobile games, developers have added more microtransactions in PC and console games. Free-to-play games that include a microtransaction model are sometimes referred to as quote-unquote freemium. Another term, pay-to-win, is sometimes used pejoratively to refer to games where buying in-game items can give a player a disproportionate advantage over other players, particularly if the items cannot be obtained through free means. The objective with a free-to-play microtransaction model is to involve more players in the game by providing desirable items or features that players can purchase if they lack the skill. Get good, motherfucker! Also, presumably, the game developer's marketing strategy is that, in the long term, the revenue from a microtransaction system will outweigh the revenue from a one-time purchase game. Introducing loot box. Loot boxes are another form of microtransactions. Through purchasing a loot box, the player acquires a seemingly random assortment of items. Loot box concepts originated from loot systems in massively multiplayer online role-playing games and from the monetization of free-to-play mobile gaming. Now, back to Maple's story. This game is believed to be the first known instance of a loot box system implementation with an item called Gachapon ticket, released in the Japanese version on June 2004. Such tickets were sold at the price of 100 Japanese yen per ticket. Like real-life Gachapon machines, players attained randomly chosen game items when they used the ticket on Gachapon, an in-game booth that was distributed across the game world. Then the Chinese free-to-play game ZT Online, or This, which was released in 2007 by This, is also considered to be one of the early examples of video games that contained loot boxes as a part of its game system. Players in Asian countries typically do not have the funds to purchase full-cost titles and use internet cafes to play the game for free, including me, or resort to copyright infringement to obtain copies of games for free, excluding me. Instead of trying to change this approach, Asian games like ZT Online introduced loot boxes as a means to assure monetization from a game that they would otherwise not receive revenue from the base sale. Within a year, the developer reported monthly revenue from ZT Online exceeding $15 million, justifying the profitability of this scheme. This led to the approach of releasing games as free-to-play with microtransactions atop the title. Many free-to-play mobile games in Asian regions will offer loot box approaches, most notably Puzzle and Dragons, released in 2011, which used its gacha approach to be the first mobile game to earn more than $1 billion from its monetization scheme. Loot boxes result in high revenues because instead of a one-time purchase for the desired item, users may have to buy multiple boxes. This method has also been called a form of underage gambling. Items and features available by microtransaction can range from cosmetic, such as decorative character attire, to functional, such as weapons and items. Some games allow players to purchase items that can be acquired through normal means, but some can only be obtained through microtransaction. Some developers ensure that only cosmetic items are available this way to keep gameplay fair and balanced. Loot boxes were popularized through their inclusion in several games throughout the mid-2010s. Take for example, Star Wars Battlefront 2, expanded approaches to the concept that caused them to become highly criticized. Such criticism included pay-to-win gameplay system that favor those that spend real money on loot boxes and negative effect on gameplay system to accommodate them, as well as them being anti-consumer when implemented in full-priced games. Due to fears of them being used as a source in gray market skin gambling, loot boxes began to become regulated under national gambling laws in various countries at the same time. What's your take? Is it considered gambling? Microtransactions are lucrative business for sure. They are great for game companies, but less so for the players. They won't go anywhere soon, maybe forever. So, how's your experience with microtransaction? What games that feel fair in the microtransaction department? Let me know in the comment down below and I'll catch you later with more stories. The premise of speedrunning feels like it should be boring, but in the control of a master, it's almost hypnotic. Every move is carefully calculated, executed with precision, and can even mean breaking the game down to the code level and figuring out how